Welcome back to A Few Good Nerds podcast. I am your host, Ed, followed by my two co-hosts, John and Dan. Say hello, guys.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey, guys. How you doing?
And with our special guest, he's the expert church candlelighter himself. Give it up for Benny, guys. Hey, what's going on, Benny?
Hi.
All right, guys. Today, we're going to be talking about the new Independence Day movie. So for those of you who don't know, they decided to create Independence Day 2, Resurgence. And this movie approximately takes place somewhere 20 years after the events of Independence Day 1. So before we get into it, I'm going to go ahead and say that I did not like this movie. I thought this was a very poorly put together. The plot was very weak. Some of the characters just didn't make sense. I mean, what were your guys' overall consensus of the movie?
I feel like most people want to go, watch it for nostalgia reasons, and a lot were disappointed. I was a little disappointed. There were a lot of things in the movie that shouldn't have been there, maybe didn't make sense. So, we'll go more into that. I was very disappointed by it.
What about you, John?
I gotta say, I loved it, man. It was an action movie. It was funny as hell. It's a B-list alien movie. I mean, you can't, the plot twists aren't going to work itself out. I mean, it technically had less plot holes than Batman versus Superman. So
I guess you're a minority there. What about you, Benny? What do you think?
I was speechless. I didn't really like it. I loved the first Independence Day. I watched it a couple days before going to watch the new Independence Day. I broke my cassette. Or that's what you call it, VHS now?
yeah.
I broke my VHS when I had it on tape. And I would not even buy, not on the DVD for this movie. I was really disappointed with like everything. The acting, everything. I was just...
What do you guys say, John?
I was going to say, Ed, you might have to explain VHS to the younger viewers just in case.
Yeah, back in my day, we never had this fancy schmancy CDs and digital. We had tapes. But on the level of disappointment movie, I could say the movie was so hyped up. It's kind of, if you remember back in the day, we used to have dial-up modems. And imagine downloading a porn for 2 hours at 56K, and it takes about 2 hours. Then when you finally get the porn open, you just realize you spent 2 hours downloading 2 girls in 1 cup. So that's the level of disappointment I felt when I saw this movie. I was so hyped up, and I saw it. I went, what is this trash? So let's just get into the plot of the movie.
Listen, you know what was worse than that? While we're on that subject,
oh god,
downloading the porn, and in the meantime, someone answers the phone.
Well, that's pretty bad.
AOL, baby. You remember those days?
No, wow. If you want to talk about horrible, when I used to play Dan in StarCraft and I was winning, he would call me so my internet would log out.
I'd call you so your parents can answer the phone and cut you off.
Oh, my God. I got in trouble because they would walk in and I'd be pissed, and they're like, oh, if the games make you angry, you shouldn't be playing, and they turn off the computer. And I'm like, God.
All right, so let's get into the movie. So the movie's plot is 20 years after the first day, the events of the first movie, the aliens come back to Earth because apparently one ship that magically landed, sent out a distress beacon. So you got this crazy advanced alien race, and trying to tell me it takes them 20 years to get to where their fallen ship? Wow, it's really a great response time. Feels like I'm dealing with a Time Warner or Comcast over here. But getting into the plot is full of ridiculous nonsense things. For one, if you guys remember the first movie had this dark feeling to it. The movie was very dark. It felt hopeless. This movie, it was like, oh, there's a problem here. Oh, don't worry. We have Joe Schmo who's going to take care of this. The movie didn't have that need of desire, that desperation, which I think really lacked in this movie. I don't know. What do you guys, that's what I think. I think the lack of the desire, that it was like that, the desperation wasn't there. I mean,
I feel like it wasn't written well. If that's where you're coming from, I don't think it was written well at all. To the point
no, in a sense that I mean, like, when you watch the first one, you're like, oh my God, they just blew up the city, they just nuked it. Oh my God, there's no hope.
But that's what you think of. First time movies always do that. It's always the second movie. I really thought that they were gonna change that. Like, ooh, the second movie, like hopefully it's good. And you looked at the ratings, and I was like, I'm gonna go in here with a nice bucket of popcorn, and I'm gonna enjoy this movie. Dude, I'm sitting there the whole time on my cell phone. I was just like, the plot was all over the place. The storyline just made zero sense.
What about you, John? What are you gonna say, man?
Oh no, I was gonna say, yeah, no, it wasn't well written at all. But like I said, it was like a B-list movie. It was just supposed to be for nostalgia. And yeah, you're right. Like like in the first movie, there was that sense of hopelessness. I think Randy Quaid was the name of the character, had to kill himself in order for us to win.
Yeah.
And then
I mean, yeah, that was a whole part of that. I mean, it was like way too light. That you know what I mean.
no, but I don't. We'll go into this later. But even like the main sacrifice of the movie was kind of like, oh, that really was pointless.
Yeah.
Because 5 minutes later, it was like all hell broke loose
It
again.
really didn't do anything for the movie.
So getting back to the plot, I mean, so the alien ship said that this distress beacon. So this even bigger alien ship shows up, and it's not even the biggest one. Apparently, it's like the second biggest one. Apparently. So this ship lands on, it destroys this moon base that we had, and it vaporizes it, apparently with some gravity well that it can automatically, some ship can expunge its own gravity, which I was like, okay, that's somewhat cool. It was cool. And then its master grand plan was to land on the top of the planet and begin to drill a hole. So as the movie goes on, they explain what the purpose of this is supposed to do. This drills a hole into the core of the planet and is supposed to suck the core of the planet out. Like, if that's supposed to be your doomsday super weapon, I would rather you fart into a balloon and just launch it over people. Because, like, you have a better chance of killing people with epic farts than that ridiculous concept. So, even better. So, before we get on even further with that worthless plot, you start to see some of the old characters. You see the new characters pop up. So you got Liam Hemsworth, who plays Jack Morrison. He's some hotshot pilot who him and Will Smith's son in the movie have beef with because somebody almost killed one another, yada yada yada. It was such a BS backstory that it was second thought. And then you had his hot fiance, which was Patricia Whitmore, played by Mika Monroe. I hope I'm not butchering her name, but she was playing the daughter, and I don't really understand what her part in the movie was. Like, she was, I guess, the assistant to the president or something. Like, she was a pilot too, but she stopped being a pilot because, oh yeah, her dad went all cuckoo and insane after the first movie, which they didn't really touch up on, like, why. I don't know, what
was she in the first movie?
No, she was the little girl. Remember after
daughter.
the mom died? She's like, oh, don't worry, Daddy. I'll be all right.
Wow, yeah. I don't remember this at all.
She sounded exactly. Yeah. She sounded exactly like Ed said that voice. That was like a perfect impression of her.
I do remember this now. I do remember. Yes.
Yes. So this, the fast.
She got hot.
I mean, she did. I mean, the fast forward story. So you eventually meet Will Smith's son. I guess, what was his name again? Dylan Hiller. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sorry, the guy who played him. Like, your portrayal of this character was really bad. Like, you all of a sudden go from happy to sad, like you had bipolar disease or something, man. I didn't feel like your character had any importance in the movie, which is kind of weird because if you guys don't know, Will Smith wasn't in the movie. He was filming Suicide Squad, so he cut out of the movie. Which I think it would have probably ruined his career if he would have done the movie. I'm sorry.
I mean, he did Wild Wild West. I don't think anything's going to be worse than that movie.
But what did they say? Did they even explain how he died?
They said it was some experimental plane crash, and that's why he died.
Dude, he survived an alien ship. How would you call it? He breached an alien ship, shot a missile, and smoked a cigar on the way out.
Yeah.
And now he just dies from a regular, like, plane crash?
Some random plane crash.
It was like the first experimental alien plane hybrid thing. And apparently he died on the test run, which is why he got his painting in the White House, which was amazing. I wouldn't be surprised if that really was there, honestly.
I mean, you'd have better time convincing me that he died from, like, eating too much Taco Bell and he was crapping his brains out. Because that's literally... That's
Wait,
exactly
hold on. Go back a step.
Yeah.
So... He died from what?
He died from literally
crash?
Experimental plane crash. That's what they said in the movie, and I was like, okay, like.
See, I didn't even catch that, and that's like a huge.
It was briefly touched upon, and then they skipped along to the thing.
It was like one of those reporter things where like everyone's happy and they're like, "Oh yeah, how do you feel about being in a plane that your dad died in?" And he was like, okay, yeah, no,
Yeah, I was fine. It's no big deal. That's so. That being said, I mean, look, the guy who played him, Jesse T. Usher, I got nothing wrong against you. I just don't think your portrayal in this movie was really good. I'm not trying to say you're a bad actor or anything, but I didn't like the way you portrayed this character.
There's no Will Smith.
Well,
I mean, ain't
are
no
we
Will
allowed,
Smith. Nobody
are we
is no
allowed
Will
to say
Smith.
he was a bad actor?
Look, that's my
Nobody is
personal opinion.
allowed
I
to
think
say.
in that role that he played, I don't think from his role from the beginning to the end, I don't think it was work. It was like literally.
It may have not have been him. It was probably the writing.
It was probably the writing for the
just
character,
sucked.
but as I say, I don't know if it's
Character
him
was
or the
terrible.
character.
Yeah, the character was bad.
The character was
his
bad.
acting may have not been bad. It was just the character was bad.
Yeah.
No,
And
because
then,
they introduced him. He's a second string, unfortunately, and he should have probably been one of the more main characters in the movie.
Like I said, there was here's the thing, like there was a lot of people in this movie. So they bring Jeff Goldblum back. They managed to turn sex symbol Jeff Goldblum from Jurassic Park into Snorefest old man. Like he was literally he had Mrs. Adderall cycle or something. He was like, ah! And when the movie starts out with him, he's somewhere in Africa, and this is the confusing stuff that they have, because the alien ships they had in the first one look completely different to the one that they had in this. Like, I remember the first one, there was no legs on the ship that can land. That's what I saw. So all of a sudden, this ship that lands. Oh, so continuing on with the story. So Jeff Goldblum's character goes down. David Levinson. He goes down to South Africa to investigate some symbols or some signal. So it's another reattached to the old one, the signal. So they meet some dude. I guess is like the ruler of that guy. For one, this guy, nothing wrong with him, but I guess the look that he was supposed to have, like a serious look, he looked like somebody farted in the room, and he was trying to identify the smell, who it was coming from. Like, I didn't like his character at all. His character made no sense to me to be in there. I mean, what are you gonna say, John?
I was just saying, his character was funny as hell, man. I mean, everyone else is getting whipped in the face later with tentacles, and he's like, oh, slide under him and stab the guy right in the back.
Yeah,
his kills were pretty funny. It was just I guess the character may have been a little weird. It didn't
fit right. It didn't fit into the genre, into the feel of the movie, in my sense. So as they go down there, the aliens attack, blah blah blah. So everyone starts going into this panic. Oh yeah, so the old President Whitmore, apparently now he's some Looney Tune. Like apparently he's like sees visions and he writes symbols. It's another weird thing, and you're kind of like, all right, how did you in the first movie? Remember, the alien went into his brain. He was perfectly fine 5 minutes later after they killed it, and now all of a sudden he's crazy. This is like another thing I had an issue with the plot. Like some stuff didn't add up. If you're gonna make a continuation from a previous movie, you gotta have some stuff that makes sense. So I guess they came. So the aliens come back. They start doing their normal shebang. Oh, so here's the funniest part. So you start showing you the old characters from the old movie. So if you saw, remember the general from the first movie, the guy who was like President Whitmore's right hand man. You guys remember him, right?
Vaguely. Benny would know more about that.
Well, okay. So there was that one part that had a ceremony, and you see him stand up, and the guy literally looked like he just took a crap in his pants. He had no idea what was going on. I'm like watching him, like, why would you show this guy? Like, and I know they're trying to bring
who
like.
you're talking about right now?
This is the 4-star general who was like,
oh my god,
like, oh yeah, the
happened in
nuke
this
is
movie.
primed under the right wing, and then you have this radio transmit. Like they were bringing these old characters, and I was like, all right, like there's no need to bring them. There wasn't a need to it. You're taking the focal point away from the movie. So they bring him, and then they have Vivica A. Fox, who played Dylan Hiller's mom, which apparently she went from stripper to doctor in a matter of 20 years. I mean, good for her. There was no point to have her character in there. Oh yeah, so when she dies, her son's right there to see her death. So I was like, what are the odds of that?
But did anyone else feel like he could have put the plane right under her at any point? Because I mean, that thing hovers. There's like, you can't just like kind of put the wing right there and be like, hey mom, get on here real quick, I'll save you.
There's some real scientific issues with this movie. Like that from their science I didn't like. And then you got oh yeah, David's dad, who manages to survive a tsunami. And then all of a sudden he lands.
The funniest one.
He's the only one out of all the old school guys who survives. And you're like, what kind of luck does he have? Like, what is he wearing? His lucky socks or his drawers that day?
Nah, man, he's lucky yarmulke.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But So
Never go
apparently
anywhere
he
without
sells
it.
his book, and he's like, "Oh God, it's another bad story." And there was no need for his character in there.
Dude, there was a need. He cockblocked at the end. That was
Yeah.
amazing. That was like typical parent shit, just coming in and cockblocking.
So like, oh yeah, so we get to the villain. So apparently the aliens operate in some ant function that there's a queen and she controls the entire hive. So instead of having to destroy the ship, they had to define the one small part of the ship and destroy this giant cockroach alien, whatever. She's pretty much, she looks like the small aliens from the first one into a giant form. What are they, this 3D scan and 3D engrave a bigger alien queen? Like, come on, what is that? What's up, John?
I don't know if anyone else noticed this, but it looked like the Cloverfield monster.
Exactly.
Like they had rented out they were like, here, we're gonna save you like $2 million. We're just gonna let you use all the footage we didn't use in the other movie.
I mean, yeah, dude, it was. And when I saw that, I went, "Are you serious? Like, this is really going on?" So what else did it go down? So after that, with the you see the alien queen. So that's the big reveal. Oh, it's this alien queen. She's in charge. Like, why does she have to be some super giant alien queen? Why couldn't it be like some Pacific Rim type thing? She's a small alien. She gets into like a little mech type thing. That was ridiculous. And apparently she's got some.
Technically.
No, she was a huge alien, about the size of a building.
Yeah, then she got into like an even bigger suit
even
that
bigger
looked like
building.
the Cloverfield
Yeah.
monster.
So if you guys remember Dr. Oaken, the guy who got strangled to death in the first movie, the little weird dude from Area 51, apparently he's alive still. Some magical way that he's still alive after getting his neck broken. And he's in a coma for 7,200 days. And so after 7,200 days of a coma, he's able to perfectly get up and walk and talk with no problem. I mean, I think at that point, being bedridden for 20 years, that you have to relearn how to walk and talk. I mean,
walk and talk, Ed. I'm sorry, you're going to the bathroom.
I mean, he probably had a catheter in.
But dude, he got out of bed no problem without even taking the cat. Dude, that thing hurts, dude.
Yeah, he would have to learn how to walk. His muscles wouldn't even work.
There's no way in hell.
I mean, you guys heard me during the movie. I was like, what is this crap?
Yeah, I think that made the movie better as I kept looking over your reactions, especially during the Independence Day speeches.
Oh, don't worry. Oh, don't worry. I'm going to get to that here in a second. So if you guys remember from the first movie that President Whitmore gave this really crazy, like really good speech. Like you literally wanted to go and sign up for the military right after hearing that speech. The speech that they had in this one. Now, I'm not discrediting the actor who did it. I think William Fichtner is a phenomenal actor. Like, I just don't think the speech had that movement. And then because remember in the first one, people had listened to the regular AM radios and they're going through the movie. So you see people, they're listening to AM radios. I'm like, hold on. You still have AM radios 20 years into the future? Are you guys serious? Like, did anyone not see like the funny stuff that was going on during that speech? So the speech it didn't move me. I didn't get the chills in it. I mean, Dan, you had an issue with the way they killed the last boss. Not the last boss, but the last alien.
The last boss.
The last boss. If you want to call her the queen, there was an issue because of the fact that they surrounded her as, bees surround their queen to protect her. And the guys were able to go just straight from the top, right through, and start shooting at her. And none of the other alien ships were even trying to stop them, which is absurd. They're protecting the queen. How do you not protect her from the top? Just from the sides. It made no sense at all.
I mean, the plot of the movie is, it's so bad. It didn't reach Sharknado status, though. That's the thing. It wasn't to the point that it was so bad that it was good. It was just bad, and it was just kind of like, man, like, it was more of a disappointment. What were you saying? What are you going to say, John?
Benny, I think you can agree with me on this, but tell me when that little white sphere came out that you didn't think of the Traveler immediately from Destiny. When it was like, oh, I'm going to give you all this technology to fight an evil alien race. And
yeah.
Like, oh my God,
it's
a Destiny.
The Stranger?
I was
100%.
like, it's a Destiny crossover. Dr. Oaken is the Traveler from Destiny.
I forgot to mention. So this little orb that they're talking about shows up, and apparently it has the technology to beat these aliens. And so at the end of the movie, the aliens like, oh, we have this place with all this technology. And then Dr. Oaken's like, well, we can go over here and we can take the fight to them. Really? Like, that's what it is? Like, I thought it was about defending the planet. Oh, yeah. Oh, so President Whitmore. This thing that drove me nuts. So if you watch in the beginning of the movie, this guy's in a cane. He's walking around in a cane. And then all of a sudden, he magically is able to not use the cane to walk anymore. Did he take a Vicodin? Or
he shaved his beard and he was good to go.
Yeah.
Dude, he got that Strong Island haircut, shaved the beard, and all of a sudden he could walk straight like nobody's business.
Yeah, I didn't understand that. And so if you watch the movie, there's explosions happening and nobody is flinching. It's like they're not being phased at all. So the guy left him died and nobody's phasing. You just see everyone's just standing there like, oh, okay, we're going to keep pulling the trigger on our guns that are shooting stuff. What's up, John?
Oh, no, I was going to say the thing that surprised me the most was that Liam Hemsworth's friend survived the whole movie.
Oh, yeah, I was hoping he was going to die.
I thought he was fodder, man, because like every time something happened, he would just show up. I'm like, this guy's going to die. This guy's going to be that dramatic death that like Liam Hemsworth needs to kill the queen.
Some of the acting was really good. Like you can tell when you're watching a movie that some of the people who are acting like they're really good. Like I say, like Liam Hemsworth, I liked his acting in it. It was good. He played the character. It didn't feel out of place for the character. And also, Patricia Whitmore, Mika Monroe. I think her acting was phenomenal. I got nothing wrong. Everyone else is kind of was just like, why are you there, really? Like, I didn't think that, Jeff Goldblum's character really, he didn't feel important. He didn't do anything crazy this time. Well, he drove a bus. You're telling me that this bus can go 0 to 100 miles an hour, fully loaded, escaping some giant tarantula alien or whatever? Like, without a doubt, I think it was probably one of the biggest summer letdowns. I think every summer there's a movie that this doesn't live up to it. I think this was it.
No, you're forgetting Batman and Superman. I am going to trash that movie until the day I die.
No, I'm doing it. I think Batman vs. Superman was way better than this movie.
I did not leave this movie with a pit in my stomach. I did not wish that they fired a director. I'm like, oh, they're making a third one. That's not going to be bad.
They're making a third one of this?
I
sure
think
they are.
If it does well enough.
I hope to God they don't. Like they
the way
literally
it
shouldn't have made a sequel. There was no reason to make a sequel. But like I said, they are redeeming. Like, I mean, it's kind of cool, I guess, if you watch the original and you kind of see some of these older characters and you kind of want what they looked like. I mean, I guess that was cool. I don't really know. Personally, to me, like, the only two redeeming points were there was some good acting here and there. But overall, I just think it I don't know. It didn't do it for me. I left disappointed. If it wasn't for the popcorn being very good that day, I wouldn't have. Well, my bucket was really good. I don't know
and the fact that we had the reclining leather seats.
Yeah.
But the movie was like you said, a summer letdown. As soon as I saw the trailer for this movie, I think I spoke to you guys. I was really, really like hyped for this movie. I was all about Independence Day growing up and that extra with the big nose doing that weird salute. Yeah. I was all about this movie. But then, like, the one thing that I saw and it bothered me the most was they tried using like old slogans that they use in the.
Oh yeah, they were doing the old throwbacks. Yeah,
the old throwbacks, and that annoyed me. Like, get something original, some more. You guys already drew in the audience that watched the first one. Okay, cool. You guys did that already. We're just releasing this movie. People that watched the first one are gonna come watch the second one. But then releasing these corny like throwbacks, I'm just sitting there. I'm like, that's lame. That's lame.
You mean like Liam Hemsworth punching the alien and realizing that Will Smith has a great right hook?
Yeah, I guess so. That it didn't phase Will Smith, but
welcome to Earth.
Yeah.
Like, that's something that bothered me. Like,
oh yeah, when the president went, there is no peace. I'm like, all right, you're supposed to be the nice person. Like,
that's another thing that really bothered me. Okay, let's jump into there and let's have this alien wrap their tentacles around my neck and do the same thing that had happened in the first one.
Yeah.
It's like, oh wait, when's it gonna pop up to the window? Like the same thing that happened to the scientist.
But wasn't it?
Same thing happened to the president.
But wasn't that supposed to be like bulletproof glass? I felt like they're like, the isolation room.
It was a stasis chamber that can. Apparently, they have a stasis chamber that they magically learned. That can block their trans. It was like I said, another one of this BS science crap that I was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, but after 20 years, they're spry as hell. They jump out and attack 3 people, and thank God they had the warlord there.
I think after 20 years. You would think that we would be one nation in the whole world. Instead, we're still United States, America, China, Russia, blah, blah, blah. And nobody's fighting amongst each other, which I can understand. But you wouldn't think that we would unify into one banner, which I thought, that to me bothered me a little bit. But all right, cool. I mean, I could sit here all night and trash this movie. Let's just go ahead and get a review. I mean, if you had to rate this movie, Benny, what would you give it out of 10?
IGN gave it an 80, you said?
Yeah,
I would possibly give it a 4.5, 5 max.
Okay. What about you, Dan?
I'd go with the 5 also. I was very disappointed. But again, I still wanted to watch it, so I would go with the 5.
All right, what about you, John?
I'd say a 6.5 or 7, just because it was a good 2 hours. I didn't get pissed off and want my money back afterwards. It was what I thought it was going to be. Just fighting, a little bit of action, and like I said, the plot holes were there, but it was a pretty funny movie altogether.
I'm gonna have to give this movie. I'm gonna have to give it a 5.5. I don't know. I guess I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be good, and also too. I tell you, look, I think you guys should literally see it. Not to see it just to. Not to see this to support the movie, but I think the actors too, because I think that it's not really their fault that the writing was bad. I just think that it's hard. It's a hard movie for me to like and to dislike. That's why I give it a 5.5. I mean, I think you should see it and not see it. If it's on TV, watch it.
Yeah, if you guys have bargain Tuesdays,
yeah, I'll go on a matinee Tuesday. It's like $7 for a ticket. I'll go for that.
But a $15 ticket or 18, I don't know how much they are now. Oh, 15, right? I don't think it's worth the full 15, and it's not bad. Definitely go watch it though.
So you guys got any closing remarks that you guys want to say about this movie before we end it?
Welcome to Earth.
What about you, John?
Just glad to see that the prequel to Destiny got released this summer.
What about you, Benny? Anything you want to say?
Still speechless.
Well, I guess that is it. Thank you for tuning in to A Few Good Nerds podcast. Be sure to like us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And you can download the cast or listen to it on YouTube or iTunes. And with that being said, adieu.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.
Hasta la vista, baby.